ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക. വിദായ വിഭാഗത്തിന്റെ ഒറിഗാമിക്കുള്ള എല്ലാ വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളും എത്രയും പെട്ടെന്ന് വേദി തൊറാതയിൽ എത്തിച്ചേരണമെന്ന് അറിയിക്കുന്നു. ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക. വിദായ വിഭാഗത്തിന്റെ ഒറിഗാമിക്കുള്ള എല്ലാ മത്സരാർത്ഥികളും എത്രയും പെട്ടെന്ന് വേദി തൊറാതയിൽ എത്തിച്ചേരണമെന്ന് അറിയിക്കുന്നു. ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക. ഊല വിഭാഗത്തിന്റെ ഹിന്ദി വിദ്വാനുള്ള എല്ലാ മത്സരാർത്ഥികളും എത്രയും പെട്ടെന്ന് 2ാം ക്ലാസ്സിൽ എത്തിച്ചേരണമെന്ന് അറിയിക്കുന്നു.
Welcome to the final session of English debate competition. Keep silence, audience. Now it is a time for the final session of English debate competition to be started. And the allowed time for each participant, each candidate and each presentation is only 5 minutes. And a bell will be rung after 1 minute. After you started your presentation, then only the intervention can be done from the other party. And after 4 minutes of each presentation will be rung the warning bell. Then you have to conclude right after only 1 minute. Okay? Now, the final session of English parliamentary debate. The topic for the debate is: this house believes that strong dictatorship is better than weak democracy. And now let me invite the Prime Minister of the government to deliver his address.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Honorable opposition leader, deputies, members and whips of both houses of parliament. I am the Prime Minister of the government and our house stands with the motion that the strong dictatorship is better than the weak democracy. DS, we are passing through a world where the democracy is weakening day by day and the civil rights are being denied, and there are many riots and agitations, protests amongst the civilians of democratic nations. So let me come to our point, and here is the time where the question arises whether the strong dictatorship is better than the weak democracy. And our house affirms that the strong dictatorship is better than weak democracy for reasons we will explain later in this debate. And first, let me come to the definitions of the concepts in our motion. First, the term dictatorship. Dictatorship is a form of government characterized by a leader or group of leaders that hold government power with few to no limitation. And when to count our motion, you may please sit down. The strong dictatorship. The strong dictatorship means that the dictator itself is a capable, proficient, loyal, intelligent, benevolent, and has the soul and vehemence as a leader. In this kind of a nation, even though political freedoms are completely oppressed, the economics and the personal life remains relatively unrestricted, and it instigates more stability, more development, and thus a stronger nation. And when come to the democracy, democracy is a form of government in which the people have authority to deliberate and decide legislation, or to choose governing officials to do so. But a weak democracy is a country where democracy functions, exist in the state, you may place it down, in the state, but do not function effectively. So I say that democracy is very good, but the weak democracy is of no useless. Because take an example of the freedom of media, press, jury. It's a vital for the running of a government in a democratic system. But in a weak democratic system, it's very low and it may run properly. So I am here with two arguments, and my deputy will come up with two arguments, and the member with one argument, and the whip will conclude our debate. So my first argument is that strong dictatorship can enable progress by taking quick decisions and enforcing discipline and order in the system. Because in a dictatorship system, the government can function like a machine, because there is no restrictions nor not different opinions confusing a policy. Meanwhile, in a weak politics, politicians are petty, selfish, and unscrupulous. They encourage the division of society, and their infighting is ugly and hopeless. So, when come to my second argument, is that in a dictatorship, there is no recourse against the government or its affiliates, and there is less room for corruption. It's very clear, because in a dictatorship system, there is an most efficient and most powerful and widely accepted leader as the ruler of the nation. So there is no chance for the riots against them. Please sit down. There is no chance for the riots, because there is no kind of violation of human rights, because everyone accepts the rule or law or laws or policies made by their leader. So my two arguments are these: there is no chance for riots, and they can act very efficiently in quick manner, rather than the weak democracy, where there will be many time lost in debates and discussions over a topic. And that's all. I conclude my words. Assalamu alaikum.
Leader of opposition.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Honorable dignitaries, Prime Minister, and both members of the both houses. I am opposition leader, and my house against the motion. My house is against the motion that strong dictatorship is better than weak democracy. I just heard the Prime Minister who said, which was just utter fallacies and hastily generalizations. First of all, I would like to refute Prime Minister. First of his argument was firstly his definition, which was he just said that strong dictatorship is benevolent dictatorship. But actually, the strong dictatorship is an extreme form of dictatorship. As we know, dictatorship, the word dictatorship always associates the negative words such as terror, tyranny, or oppression. So we can understand that the strong dictatorship would be the only the extreme form of that tyranny and oppression. And first of his argument was that there would be quick decisions in a dictatorial government. But that quick decision is just the decision of that dictator. It is only concentrated in that dictator. So there would be no consideration of the desires of people or desires of the masses of that country. It would be harmful for the people than its positives. And his second argument was that there would be
I am asking that the care of the people, that you are said there not will be in the dictatorship, and how it will be in a weak democracy, and how it will be in a firm form if it is a weak democracy.
In weak democracy, they have a chance to change their leader. I would said it clearly in my following speeches. And he said that there would be no corruption and there would be no protest or agitations against the leader. Actually,
I just said less corruption, less room for corruption, not no corruption.
Okay, less corruption. Even though there is no one to invigilate them. They are dictators. Their rule is just concentrated on that dictators. There is none to invigilate them. And there is no protest and agitations just because they are there is no freedom of speeches or freedom of expression, and it is a negative point of dictatorship. What good is with development and freedom without any development, without any freedom? No. Or happiness to the people. And firstly, I argue that the strong dictatorship always is not better than weak democracy. That there is no freedom in dictatorship. As I have said in the refutation, there is no freedom in dictatorship. The justification of dictatorship was that there would be rapid development. But just think that what good is with the rapid development without freedom? And the weak democracy also have development, but it would be slow just because they are considering every people's desires and desires of the every masses. And my second argument is that there is a possibility of new leadership in weak democracy. He can change it to the strong democracy. If we think that the power of democracy is derived from peoples, if the people think that their leader is inefficient, they can change their leader. There is a possibility of new leader in democracy. But dictatorship doesn't gives any chance of new good leadership. Mostly dictatorship always follows violence and always follows weak leaders and instability. I am concluding. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Honorable judges and my worthy opponents and the dear audience, I am here as the Deputy Prime Minister, and as previously mentioned, this House believes that strong dictatorship is better than weak democracy. My team and I firmly affirms the resolution which states that the strong dictatorship is better than weak democracy. First of all, I want to thank you for giving me the best chance. Our PM had already clarified our two profound arguments. So our third argument is that strong dictatorship is more effective and efficient in passing legislations, social reforms and stimulating the economic growth. In these types of nation, even though political freedom are completely oppressed, the economics and personal life remains relatively unrestricted, thus ensuring nationwide economic development. Dictatorship instigates more stability, more growth, and hence a strong nation. There are many examples for this. For instance, when we look at the GDP growth of China, which is a dictatorship country, you may please sit down. GDP of China in 2022 is 8.11%, and GDP rate of Myanmar, which is a democratic country, is minus 11%. Thus here we can see the advancement of a strong dictatorate nation. When we look at the another example of Kerala, you may please sit down. When we look at the another example of Kerala, in Kerala recently the left-wing government made a policy to put forward a development of Silver Line project, but with a great agitation and opposition against it, it was not implemented, and thus hindering the development of the infrastructure of the states. In dictatorship, this kind of problem is not seen. Please sit down. Coming to our fourth argument, a strong dictatorship can help the poor people and eradicate poverty much better than in weak democracies. According to the World Bank, 850 million Chinese people have been lifted out of extreme poverty. China's poverty fell down from 88% in 1981 to 0.6% in 2022, while considering poverty line as $1.9 per day. On the other hand, if we consider poverty line of India as $1 per day, then the percentage of poor people in India is higher. It is around 34%. India is as we can see, India is a weaker democracy. From this example, it is clear that a dictatorate nation will surely ensure the fulfillment of needs of poors and eradicate the poverty from the country. Otherwise, we can see a lot of poor people who don't even have food and house in a weak democracy like in India, in which about 228 million people are poor. The strong dictatorate country such as China has a position of second position in the GDP rate in the world. Let me summarize our position in this debate. I affirm again and again that strong dictatorship is better than weak democracy as it is effective and efficient in the passing legislations, social reforms, and stimulating economic growth, and it can help the poor people and eradicate poverty much better than in weak democracies. So here I conclude my words. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Honorable dignitaries and respected jury panel and beloved members of both opposition and government. We are here on this discussion on the motion. This house believes that strong dictatorship is better than weak democracy. So, I am the deputy leader of the opposition. We oppose the motion, we are against the motion, and we believe that weak democracy is better than the strong dictatorship. So, before I come to my essential procedures, I would like to review the arguments, the absurd arguments provided by the Deputy Prime Minister of the government. Have said the weak democracy is more effective for legislative and government. How could it happen? How can you say that? Do you know, in a weak democracy, there still exists a soul of democracy. People have a possibility, people have a chance, people have a right to overthrow their leaders, to overthrow their authorities. And there is also a possibility of a strong democracy. So, there is no any chance to be a strong dictatorship, to be a better or a suitable government rather than the big democracy. And also he said that it will eradicate the poverty. The poverty and this demerits of the government lies to the respect to the regardance of the authority. Please visit to the authority. A leader of the democracy may weak. So the country will be weak, the country will face so many poverty, and such like in a dictatorial country, if there is a weak dictator, there will be a poverty. But you see, if there is a weak dictator in your country, in a dictatorial country, there is no any possibility, no any right, no any chance to overthrow him. That's the problem of a weak, strong dictatorship country, dictatorial country. But in weak democracy country, there is a possibility to overthrow the leaders. So, coming to my essential procedures, the first couple of arguments are provided by the leader of our opposition, and I will forward you two more Stone's arguments. The first one is, dictators stifle the will of the people. Dictators will stifle the will of the people. Dictatorship, you know, the authority is centralized in a person, in a dictator. There is no right for the people to express. There is no freedom to elect, to represent their representatives. They may be autonomous. People can't find any happiness. People can't meet their wills. People can't meet their wills. And in democracy, there will be, it's not effective. Censorship and propaganda and media blackouts and offer the problematic issues in the dictatorship country. Because it is important that the people living under the government don't get too many ideas from sources that related to their leaders. There is no freedom in a dictatorship, and that extends all the way down to basic freedoms like thought and speech. People do get in trouble speaking against the government. Coming to my second enigma, it's the dictatorship unstable. It goes without saying that in a dictatorial country there is no political diversity. There is no political diversity. There is no allowance for individual expression or creativity in a dictatorship. And it's leading to extremely unhappy people and often violent revolution. Dictatorships are not civilizations, but dictatorships are not successful, and they are overcome by other people in the form of revolt. So we have told that about weak democracy. Even it is a weak democracy, there still exists a soul of democracy that by the people and the people. The democracy, there still exists the soul of democracy, and it gives the right to oppose, the right to express, and the last, the right to overthrow the leaders and authority. But in a democratic country, there is no any possibility or chance. So I'm concluding. You can determine now which is better authority to be, and it's all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Third speaker.
Assalamu alaikum. Honorable Prime Minister and Leader of Opposition, member and the whip of the both houses. I'm here as a member of government with a motion. A strong dictatorship is better than a weak democracy. First of all, I would like to refute the argument fetched by the Deputy of Opposition. Deputy of Opposition. That he argued that there is a chance for merely a good democracy, a strong democracy, in a weak democracy. But I would like to ask a question that if in the weak democracy there is an unstable social and instability in the economic and the political in the political spheres. So how could there be a chance if they continue to be a weak? But on the other hand, in a strong democracy, in a strong dictatorship, there will be a strong economic and a political sphere where peoples of that dictatorship can enjoy their life in a beautiful ways. And secondly, I thought by the talk. Yeah.
I was asking a question that if there is an economic problem, what can do? I would say there is democracy. There is democracy. Democracy opposed to have the right to overthrow their leaders. There is a right. What the problem with this?
Yeah. So I would like to say that democracy merely gives some rights, but however the weak democracy gives all rights in a very badly manner. So the weak democracy as for giving a chance for overthrow the leader. In a dictatorship there is no chance for overthrowing the dictatorship. That is the dictatorship exactly. So
there is no weak
there's no weak rights or strong rights. Rights are for
Our
the
motion is a weak
and,
democracy.
for the truth of a living or constitution of a living being is to have a society on the basis of a superiority, which is about politics. And the politics we are discussing here is about the governance of a person around a person. So where comes the question comes from?
So, as the deputy said, there is no, as the Prime Minister said, there is no freedom at all in the democracy. However, the excessive of the freedom is harmful to ourselves and useless. In a weak democracy, the most important tension is about that their food and the place for living. Where there is a lack of food, there's a lack of food and the place to live, and not about the freedom to live. On the other hand, in the dictatorship, in a strong dictatorship, there is the foremost right, that is a right to live. Here is, I am come to my point that, if I came to my point that I strongly argument that a strong dictatorship protects some right, while weak democracy protects all right really badly way. Like, ladies and gentlemen, when Thomas Jefferson, who wrote the U.S. dictatorship, the Declaration of Independence, he said that all men have certain rights, and it's among them a life, liberty, and the pure pursuit of happiness. There is a reason why he put the life at the first position. If there is no life, there is no right for a vote, there is no right for a freedom, there is no right for expressions. So the foremost right of every person in the country or any else, the foremost right is to be alive. So being in a very weak democracy, there is instability in the social and economic sphere. As for the political sphere, when we look, there will be a chance for gaining the power by, there will be a chance for people ruled by gang leaders and our other warlords, as the people is not aware of the full information about the election commission. Where in a weak democracy, there is a lack of truth in the election commission and other things. So being the rulers of the weak democracy, the gang leaders, there is a possibility for attacks held by them on the peoples. So the people tend to die, and the weak, there is merely an anarchy than a democracy. In reality, the anarchy exists in a weak democracy. So let me summarize our position in this debate. I affirm that strong dictatorship is better than the weak democracy. I conclude my words. Assalamu alaikum.
Good afternoon, one and every all. I respect the motion provided by the government, which they have done a great logical analysis on the motion to be respected. Democracy is not better than strong dictatorship. The thought of dictatorship which they have placed is about two argumentation. And I would like to say, use law, not war. The organized lying practiced by the totalitarian states is not a temporary expedient of the same nature as military discipline. It is something integral to totalitarianism, something that could or would continue even if concentration camps and secret forces had ceased to necessary. By George Orwell, 2001. Let me introduce the motion briefly. The thought of argumentation which you have proposed first, as the continuous version of argumentation, riots and protests is the democratization of a nation. Riot is the of course.
I think that the member of opposition has But hearing the motion, that the motion is not about only the democracy, but it was about the weak democracy, and our motion is the strong dictatorship is better than
Yes,
weak
of course.
democracy.
Of course, the continuation of democracy does not come from the weak democracy. Weak democracy lead to the democracy and the superiority of democracy. So where come the argumentations comes from? I don't know. And the Prime Minister is so stable to change this thought. We found that it is unstable, of paradoxical from in your teams also. So the decisions making is not the continuous exploration or exploration of the thought, which you continue to do. That the continuation is not the process from your coming to the thought or coming that the house believes democracy is better than strong dictatorship is the continuation which you've given as the first, as the primary evidence, and the secondary evidence which you have given is about the economic stability, which I strongly refuse, because according to Guardian, economic stability is not a result of dictatorship. It is the result of a person or a leader of group have to be corrupting or continuous abolition or reconstruction of a country's economy in a way which can construct the world or the globalization in this period. I construct on the word globalization, which is decision is to make participation of a thought, and I conclude that the Deputy Prime Minister has stated that the control of emotion does not come from the thought of giving a person democratic. Democracy doesn't mean to have hierarchy over a person, and which weak democracy means to have a democracy on a particular long-lasting period. So you have a rapid solution, we have a long-lasting solution. It is so simple. It is so simple to have a notation, a connotation over the power of democratic and autocratic power, and to express the feelings of humanity in the minds of people, to contain, to explore, to have the thought of democratic freedom, which is the product of French Revolution, which you've studied, liberty, fraternity and equality, to be maintained by the civilization right which we have. It is the civilizational rule to have the development, to suppress, to not avoid the thought of construction, to reconstruct the thought of humanity, which we strongly believe we can reconstruct in this world. The thought of belief, the thought of democracy, the thought to explore the influence to change your belief. I construct, I conclude, and I reconstruct. I can change your belief through weak democracy. It's not just a solution, it is a long-lasting solution for the thought coming from a democratic, which you, every four of them from the government team, can have an option to give answer to the BIO of an opposition, which is democratic totally. I conclude my words. This is all to me say. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Respected Prime Minister of the government and members of the both group, I am here as the whip of government, and our motion is the strong dictatorship is better than the weak democracy. Here the topic is about the strong dictatorship and weak democracy, not about the dictatorship versus democracy. The word weak has to be highlighted and focus on it. So there is no doubt on that the weak democracy is a gun without bullets, which are not useful and only a mocking object. As the ruling of state is not a mock and child play, it has to be very effective and fruitful. And our first argument is that a strong dictatorship can enable progress by taking quick decisions and enforcing discipline. Politicians are petty, selfish and unscrupulous. Our second argument is In a dictatorship, there is no rights against the government or its authorities. Our third argument is that the strong dictatorship regime is more effective and efficient in passing legislation, social reforms, stimulating economic growth. And our fourth argument is that in a dictatorship, some of the rights will be protected, but in a weak democratic governing, the society will be unstable and any of the rights will not be protected in a correct and clear way, and people will be living in chaos and chaos. And the arguments and objections forwarded by the opposition were too weak as the weak democracy, the corresponding topic, and I think that the opposition had misunderstood the topic, because it is not about that dictatorship is better than democracy, not one of them is best, but when we compare the strong dictatorship, the strong dictatorship is much better than the weak democracy. And as the opposition said that by changing the leader of that weak democracy, the weakness will not end, and the matter of invigilators in the weak democracy, because it is not only the ruler of the democracy is weak, but the invigilators who will invigilate the ruler also will be weak, as they are also a part of the governing weak democratic team. And the opposition had to awake that here is not a matter of possibilities, that there, as the deputy leader of opposition said, there is the soul of democracy and there is many possibilities for a good democracy. Because as you said, the decisions are not taken looking to the possibilities, but it has to be affirmed and in a correct manner. So there is no options for the possibilities. So the possibilities of a weak democracy cannot will be forwarded as it is a matter of whole society or a country. And strongly affirms that our motion that the strong dictatorship is better than the weak democracy is the correct, and as the evidences and the objections by the opposition were too weak and illogical and unethical, so our notion that the strong dictatorship is the better than the weak democracy is correct and clear. That's all. Here I conclude my words. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, Honorable Prime Minister and Deputy Leader of the Opposition and both members of both Opposition and the government. I am the whip of opposition team and I am standing with a great relief because it's really clear that this stated weak democracy is far more better than strong democracy. It's far more better than weak democracy, and we have stated with our four decisive arguments. Firstly, we argue that there is no happiness. They said the state will be economically strong. Why the state had to be economically strong, and why they have to be developed without the happiness of the people for whom they are making the state developed, for whom they are making their economy stable. Without the happiness of the people, what is the relevance of the economic stability and the development of a state? It wasn't clear, and when we argued with the PRI, they were repeating because it's really clear they have no acknowledgement about what to say, and that's clear. It was really a fallacy, and they're only saying they're arguing that argument because it is so. There's no any reasons. It is so. There's no clearness. There is no evidence. There is nothing. It's clear because it's so. Because they thought it is so. And secondly, without freedom, if there is an economic stability, Without freedom, how what to eat? They said they were cherry picking with an argument of a US dictator, and they said he given the liberty to the people, and he also said they how to live. They have the liberty how to live. And my question is, if a dictator is saying that to cut your hair like this, eat the food like this, you have liberty, you have to live, there's no problem, but you have to eat so, you have to live so, and there is no freedom. It is called the exploitation of freedom. It's not the freedom actually. The freedom is to live in their rights, in a clear right. It is fundamental right, which is only given in a democracy, and even in democracy, it will be enduring process. It will be enduring till the last. Even it's a big democracy, there is still the possibility of democracy. And thirdly, they said the development was rapid, but that wasn't long lasting. It's not long lasting, but in the big democracy, it will be slow, but it will be enduring till the last. It will be long lasting, unlike the strong dictatorship. And we clearly said what strong dictatorship is, and they were often saying about the dictatorship more than strong dictatorship. They were always saying that the strong dictatorship is good, so because of dictatorship is good, so it's not the clear evidence. Strong dictatorship is there will be terror, there will be exploitation, there will be everything against the right of a man, and it's really wrong. In a big democracy, there will be development, there will be enduring process of everything. Dear tourists, now we think it's really clear what we said, and it's really clear they were always saying the fallacies, and they are having any clear definitions, they having any clear clarification. They were also even an acknowledgement of their own argument. And we clearly we request our juries to support our argument and to state that big democracy is better than strong dictatorship. And thank you everyone. Assalamu alaikum.
The final session of English Parliamentary debate is finished, and congratulations for your good presentation and active performance. All of you have done well. We wish you all the participants a good future in the debate field, inshallah. And once more, thank you the participants and the audience also.
സാനിയ വിഭാഗത്തിന്റെ സോങ്ങറുന്നതിനുള്ള അർഷദ്, അൻഷിദ്, ഷാഹുൽ, മാസിൽ, അമൽ, അദ്നാൻ, ജാസിർ, സബീഹ് എന്നിവർ എത്രയും പെട്ടെന്ന് ഗ്രീൻ റൂമിൽ എത്തിച്ചേരണമെന്ന് അറിയിക്കുന്നു. സാനിയ വിഭാഗത്തിന്റെ സോങ് ഉറുദുവിനുള്ള അർഷദ്, അൻഷിദ്, ഷാഹുൽ, മാസിൽ, അമൽ, അദ്നാൻ, ജാസിർ, സബീഹ് എന്നിവർ എത്രയും പെട്ടെന്ന് ഗ്രീൻ റൂമിൽ എത്തിച്ചേരണമെന്ന് അറിയിക്കുന്നു. Coordinator here.